Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the Target 23 Part 4 homework review. So as always, we're going to review some problems from our worksheets. This one definitely goes along with the Part 4 worksheet, all about finding area of circles and area of sectors within circles, right? Like part of a circle. And so again, this matches up with the Part 4 worksheet. And so we're going to be going through problems 2, 4, and 10 from that worksheet. And so let's just get to it. All right. And so on number 2, we just want to find the area of the circle. We are going to leave answers in terms of pi, so we're not going to have any decimals here. Remember, that means they are going to be exact answers, but we also don't have to find part of a circle. We're just doing the whole circle, right? And so area of a whole circle is pi r squared. All you need to know is the radius, but in this picture, we have the diameter, right? This line goes all the way across. That whole line is 10. Now your radius is half of your diameter. And so if our diameter is 10, then my radius is 5. And that's going to be the number I want to use to plug in for my radius over here. And so let's do that. Area of this circle will be pi times 5 squared. And then remember, when we want to leave it in terms of pi, we're just going to leave pi there. We're not going to plug that into our calculator. We are simply going to square 5. And we'll see what that is. And 5 to the second power is 25. So this is like pi times 25. And then remember, we're just going to flip the order. We want the pi to come last, the number to come first. And so the final answer we're going to write is 25 pi. Remember, it still has units, so inches squared. And there is our final answer. Now, if you wanted decimals, right, you could type 25 pi into your calculator and it would tell you 78.5 as well. Both of those are correct, but this one is the one where we've written it in terms of pi, right? All right, perfect. Now, moving on to number 4, sector area. So remember what a sector is part of a circle. And not just a part, but this will clue us into what we're going to do. It's a fraction of a circle, right? And so the sector area is going to be the shaded section. So we're looking for the shaded section right here. Now I'm going to do some work in the shaded section, so I'm going to erase that. But just know we're trying to find the shaded section. And so remember, what we need to do is we need to figure out a degree measure for the arc of that shaded section. That's going to tell us how big of a part of this circle we need. And remember, that is going to be equal to whatever this central angle is. Well, we don't know what the central angle is. We know this white section is 40, but we don't know what the gray section is. But those two put together are made up by this diameter, right? And a diameter always cuts your circle in half. And so that 40 and then the gray section, those two are linear pairs. Together they have to equal 180. And so our gray section is going to be 180 minus 40, which means this is a 140-degree angle. And if that angle is 140 degrees, then so is our arc. And so what we're really looking for here is the area of a 140-degree section of this circle. And so remember, our equation for area of a sector starts with a fraction. It's the arc measure divided by 360. So it's telling us the fraction of this whole circle. And then we times by pi r squared. So we need that degree measure and we need our radius. Now we do have the degree measure, right? That's what 140 is. So now we need our radius. And you'll be able to tell we are given a diameter. Our diameter is 12. Remember, our radius is always half that, so our radius is going to be 6. And so that's what we need to plug in here. We need to plug the 140 into the x degree measure and then 6 into the radius spot. And so our area will equal 140 divided by 360 times pi times 6 squared. And we just want to type that into our calculator, and I'll do it with you so we can talk about this fraction. Remember, it's not too tough, but we've got to put that fraction in parentheses. So parenthesis, 140 divided by 360, close the parenthesis, and then that takes care of our fraction, and now we'll times by pi times 6 squared. So times pi times 6 squared. And we type that in, we hit enter, and that is our answer. And it's 43.9, but we can round it up. It's roughly 44.0. Let's see the units. They are feet, so feet squared. And that is the area of this sector. Excellent. Now, let's do one last problem. This one is a working backwards problem. We actually know the area of our shaded section. And we know that this angle measures 36, so our arc is 36 as well. Remember, that's what our x degree measure is in our formula. What we do not know is our radius, right? We're trying to answer that question right now. And so here we go. Remember, the area of a sector is that fraction divided by 360 times pi times our radius squared. Now, we know our x degree measure, that's 36. And so we can do 36 divided by 360 times pi. And remember, we don't know radius. We're trying to find it, so it's still r squared. But then remember, this is our area right here. And so that's what A is. And so on the left side of the equation, we can write 54 pi. All right, now, here we go. And don't forget that pi, right? You got to read carefully. And when you look at this area over here, it is 54 pi. All right, so now, if you remember from our notes, what we want to do is we want to turn this into a decimal. And we'll write that decimal in front of r squared. So let's go to our calculator real quick. And let's type in 36 divided by 360, in parentheses, of course. And then we'll times it by pi. And so that's going to give us 0.314, let's say. So this is less than 1, 0.314. That's what the purple circle equaled. We still have our r squared on the end. Now, we still have 54 pi over here as well. We have not touched that. But now we can start solving for our r squared because there's just a number in front of it. And so we're going to divide both sides by that number. Divide by 0.314 on both sides, 0.314. And so when I do that, the 0.314 on the right cancels out, leaving me with just r squared. And then on the left, this is what we're going to want to type into our calculator now. That's what we're going to want to type into our calculator now. And so let's go do that. Oops, let's make sure we can see it. Maybe, close enough. So it is 54 pi, oops, missed, clear, 54 pi, right? And then divided by 0.314. And so I'll hit divided by, and then I'm going to hit up, and I'm going to highlight the 0.314 full decimal, hit enter, and then I'll hit enter again, and it'll tell me what 54 pi divided by 0.314 equals. And it turns out that it equals almost exactly 540, right? So 540 is my r squared. And now to finish it off, I'll just square root both sides, leaving me with r. And so I need to take the square root, second square root, and I'm going to go up again and highlight 540, put it under there, hit enter, and it will tell me roughly 23.2. 23.2. Now let's find the units. As you can see right here, they are inches, so my radius is 23.2 inches, and that is my final answer. So perfect. Thank you very much for your time. Again, remember this is a review of the Part 4 worksheet, so go ahead and keep practicing those problems. Go ahead and ask me some questions whenever they come up. Remember, we have our Google Hangouts or our Google Meet, and you can always email me anytime you want. Otherwise, we'll move on to Part 5, and we're almost done with Unit 8. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much for your efforts.